upside down and inside out. About to take your education on a brand new route. Because I'm Mr. Morris and I'm here to say that it's time to teach math in a brand new way. Because if you think that your math ain't great, you're starting to hate, feel you can't relate. Well, if you know fool, be sure to stay tuned. There's a new way of learning flows into you.
Hello everyone, this is Algebra Made Simple. I'm your host Chris Morris. Today's topic, we're going to talk about something that is very pertinent in my mind when it comes to young learners going through the high school math experience. Frankly, because it shows up on a lot of SAT, ACT, standardized tests that you'll see at the high school and the college level, and sometimes just as a prep test that you'll get when you're trying to get into a certain job field, and that's evaluating expressions. This is something that I feel like you're not going to get away from, and so I want to help make it clearer and make it simpler today. So let's go ahead and get straight into this and look at a few examples today. So I'm going to bring this on screen. Hopefully you can see everything. It says evaluate using the given values. So I'm going to do a simple one, then maybe one that's a little more involved, but nothing too bad. And so if you look right here, give me just a second. I got to make sure it's letting me use my pencil icon here. What's the deal? There we go. All right. So if you look right here, you basically see two parts with these questions. You have an expression, which is really what I'm going to just, I don't know, maybe try to highlight here or circle right here if my app will respond right. Give me just a second. There you go. And so you see right here that I underlined, that's the expression. You got y divided by 2 plus x. Y divided by 2 plus x. Well, man, I mean, what do we do with that? That's weird. Well, it gives you the second part. I'm going to circle. It gives you all you need to figure this out, to evaluate it. Because at first it's a mystery. Y, whatever that is, divided by 2 plus x, whatever that is. Oh, wait, by the way, I'm going to tell you what it is. X is equal to 1. Oh, and oh, by the way, y is equal to 2. Oh, really? So really all I got to do is rewrite this expression here and substitute 2 wherever I see a y and 1 wherever I see an x, and then it won't be a mystery. I'll be able to figure out what this really is. I'll be able to evaluate it. So that's what I'm going to do. Where it says y divided by 2, I'm just going to replace y with 2, and I'm going to say 2, that's a very ugly division symbol, but that's my division symbol, divided by 2 plus x. Well, x, by the way, look right there, people. It says it's equal to 1. So I'm going to replace a 1 wherever I see an x, and now it's no longer a mystery, okay? It's not like an unknown. What is y? What is x? It tells us that. So your job is to take what they give you and plug it into that expression. So now we use what's called order of operations, okay? Order of operations. If you've ever done order of operations, you know it's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I once had a kid come up with Punk Evil Monkeys Diet Sunset. There's weird ways you can remember it, but the bottom line is it's PEMDAS, all right? That's a horrible E. I'm not super great at drawing on screen, so I'm doing the best I can, all right? But please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That stands, of course, for parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. If you follow this order and you just go in order left to right, you'll notice that division, right, comes before addition. And those are the only operations that we have here in this expression. So I'm going to start with the division piece. I got 2 divided by 2. That is going to have to be calculated before I add 1. Well, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So then if I just bring down what's left, all I got is one more step, 1 plus 1. Everyone knows 1 plus 1 is 2. So at this point, I am finished. I've evaluated this expression using the given information. So a lot of times these kinds of expressions, they will say, hey, use, you'll hear that word, use x is this, or use z is this, and that's kind of how that is. So let me I'm going to back some of this stuff off. I want to clear the screen, and we're going to look at another one. I especially kind of wanted to look at one that had some exponents involved in this particular video. So I thought I got rid of all that. Here we go. So scrolling a little bit further, let me see what we got. Tell you what, we might do a simple one like number 6 here. Okay, so here's another one. You got 2 parts. You have an expression, okay, and then you have the information that we need to plug into the expression. So that's usually followed by the word use this, you'll see the word use, right? So here's the expression, y squared minus x, right there. Now, it's being very generous here. Sometimes you don't get all this information. It's telling you what x is. It's telling you what y is. Just so happens they're both 7. So instead of saying y squared, since y is equal to 7, I'm just going to replace that and say 7 squared, right? And it says y squared minus x. Well, x happens to be 7 as well. So this is what I'm going to do. Now, as a reminder, you want to follow what's called the order of operations. PEMDAS is an easy way to remember that. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally is probably the more popular one you'll hear, you know, from sea to shining sea in America. Okay, but remember, start and look and see if there's parentheses. Let me look at this problem. Are there any parentheses? Oh, there aren't any. Okay, well then I move on to E. That stands for exponents. Oh, this one has an exponent, right? That 2 right there, that little number, sometimes we call that a power, but most often we just call it an exponent. That's where we want to start. So you want to ask yourself, well, what is being raised to the power of 2? Don't forget it's 7 squared, or 7 to the power of 2. Anything to the power of 2. Now, this is a problem I see a lot. People see 7 to the power of 2 and mistakenly go, oh, 7 times 2, that's 14. Wrong-go. See, don't confuse anything to the power of 2 or to the power of anything as multiplication. It's not really multiplication. 7 to the power of 2 means 7 times itself 2 times. So you basically need to take that 7, write out 2 of them, multiply them together. 7 times 7 is 49. You see how different an answer is if you're going to get 14 with one method versus 49? You're dead in the water, folks. So I'm just warning you because that's a very common mistake. And I've seen like on SAT, ACT, college entrance exams, they will purposefully, if it's a multiple choice test, put an answer in there that works out if you said 14 because they know that's a common mistake. So don't let that be you. So 7 squared really means 7 times 7, not 7 times 2. 7 times 7 is 49. And so then I just bring down what I got left, and 49 minus 7, last time I checked, is 42. So our evaluation for this particular expression, when x is equal to 7 and y is equal to 7, is 42. Now, I'd like to do one more example before I kind of sum it on up, but I just want to break this down. It's not overly complex as long as you do first things first, right? You need to substitute what your variables are equal into the expression and then kind of go from there. Okay, so let me do one down here that maybe has some parentheses going on. This one for some reason can be a little confusing for a lot of kids when they're beginning, so I feel like it might be worth our time. Now, once again, remember, you have an expression component where it's, in this case, it's all variables, and then you got the information you need. Y is equal to 10, Z is equal to 2. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm rewriting that expression on the left, but I'm substituting 10 and 2 where I see y and z. Since y comes first in the expression and y equals 10, I'm going to change it from y to 10. And I'm going to keep it lined up. 10 minus, right, because it says y minus up there. And then z is really 2, so I'm going to say 2. Now here's a little tip. Whenever you have a variable that's being raised to a power, it's a pretty good idea to get in the habit of putting that in parentheses. Now, when it's positive, you usually are okay. But if you got like negative numbers, that's when using a parenthesis is a very good idea. But anyway, I digress. So here's where we are, okay? I replaced the y with 10. I replaced the z's with 2. But other than that, it looks exactly the same, right? Well, you still got to go in order. If you follow PEMDAS, you know you got to start in the parentheses, okay? But I like to say if you see 2 parentheses, look at the parentheses in the parentheses. You know what I mean? It kind of helps you focus your attention. So the parentheses in the parentheses is a 2. See that parentheses 2, everyone? And then exponents comes next in order. So I really want to start here. I want to know what 2 squared is, okay? Because the order of operations demands I do that. 2 squared is 2 times 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm going to change the 2 squared to 4, and then just kind of simplify it. Now I got parentheses 2 plus 4, and I'm going to bring down the 10 and the minus, and that's kind of where I am now. According to order of operations, I still have to start with any parentheses I see. And so since I see a parentheses left, 2 plus 4 is what I have to do next, and that's really 6. So I'm running out of room. I'm going to come out here, and I'm going to change this to 10 minus 6 as my next step. And after this point, it's pretty clear 10 minus 6 is 4, and that's our final evaluation. So be very, very careful to keep it simple. this is something that I hope all of our kids who watch this have a lot of success if this pops up. I should really say when this pops up in the future. More than likely, if you're finishing your high school degree, you're going to have plenty of these come your way before you get to the graduation line. And then especially if you're going to revisit mathematics at the college level, you're going to see this again many, many times, okay? Just a problem-solving skill, a way of just getting used to knowing that variables are unknowns until they tell you what it is. You know, it's almost like a mystery box on the TV show. Hey, what's behind door number 2? Oh, by the way, it's this. You get a free vacation in Hawaii. Oh, by the way, it's this. You know, it's $500 gift card to Walmart. They're telling you what's behind the mystery box, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's really all I had to say on this one. I'm keeping it short and simple. This is evaluating expressions. It's definitely a concept that's simple, but you have to take your time, do first things first, second things second, and really pay attention to PEMDAS, going in order and doing the next right thing. You'll get there if you just do the next right thing in order. So anyway, that's all I got to say on this one. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Upside down and inside out, about to take your education on a brand new route. Because I'm Mr. Morris and I'm here to say that it's time to teach math in a brand new way. Because if you think that your math ain't great, you're starting to hate, feel you can't relate. Well, if you're no fool, be sure to stay tuned. There's a new way of learning flows into you, yeah.